Today, or was it yesterday, the Jewish Tu B'Av, the day of love. So I'm going to read from Chicken Soup for Pet Lovers Soul. Stories about pets as teachers, healers, heroes, and friends. Right? You want to hear a story? So first I want to read the introduction by Fyodor Dostoevsky on love. Love is God's creation, the whole and every grain of sand in it. Love every leaf, every ray of God's light. Love the animals. Love the plants. Love everything. If you love everything, you will perceive the divine mystery in things. Once you perceive it, you will begin to comprehend it better every day, and you will come at last to love the whole world with an all-embracing love. Wow. That is very ambitious. Didn't realize he was such a loving person. I don't know if I could do that. But I'm going to read a story. The story is... And then Rudyard Kipling. His name is not Wild Dog anymore, but the first friend, because he will be our friend for always and always and always. That is a beautiful quote. I really can relate to that. So let's see the story. I'm trying to look. Heartstrings. Dogs have given us their absolute all. We are the center of their universe. We are the focus of their love and faith and trust. They serve us in return for scraps. It is without a doubt the best deal man has ever made. Roger Carras. People spend their whole life searching for love. I was no different until one day I decided to look in the cages of the local pound. And there was love waiting for me. The old dog was considered unadoptable. An underweight Beagle Terrier mix. He had been found running along the road on 3 legs with a hernia, a damaged ear, and BBs embedded in his hind end. The people at the Humane Society kept him as allotted 7 days and then some because he was friendly, and they figured if someone had once spent the money to have his leg amputated, then maybe that person would be looking for him. But no one came. I met him on his 10th day. I was dropping off a donation of blankets at the Humane Society and I happened to walk by and see him. Looking down through the wire mesh of his cage, I'm sorry, I can't read this. I thought he was an appealing little guy and my heart went out to him. But I really couldn't take another dog home. I had 4 already. There had to be a limit, I thought. I can't save them all. Driving away from the Humane Society, I knew the dog would be destroyed if I didn't take him. Oh, I can't take this. This is so... I felt so helpless. As I passed the church, the sign announcing this week's sermon caught my eye. It was right before Christmas, and appropriately it read, "Is there room at the inn?" I knew at that moment, I can't read this. There was always room for one more, especially one that needed my love. As soon as the Humane Society opened the next morning, their phone rang. "I'm coming for that old beat-up dog. Save him for me," I told them. I couldn't get there fast enough, and from that moment, the moment I claimed him, he gave his heart to me completely. Oh, I can't read this. In my experience, there is nothing like the feeling of rescuing a dog. Dogs are loving creatures already, but add the element of relief and gratitude and true devotion flows. It is an immensely satisfying bond that I wouldn't trade for all the puppies in the world. I named the dog Tugs because he had tugged on my heartstrings, and I did all I could to make his life a happy one. In return, Tugs brought a new meaning to the term adoration. Wherever I went, he wanted to be there too, just like Shosha. He never took his eyes off me. With a simple glance in his direction, his whole body wagged with happiness. Despite his many handicaps and increasingly failing health, his enthusiasm for life was amazing. There was never an evening I came home that Tugs did not meet me at the door, eyes sparkling, his tail wagging excitedly. We were together for a little over a year, and constantly during that time I felt a silent current of love from him, strong, steady, and deep, unceasingly flowing to me. When it was time for the vet to end his suffering, I held his head in my hands and the tears falling on his old muzzle, and watched as he gently fell asleep. Even in my sadness, I was grateful for the gift of love. For someone who has never had this kind of experience with a pet, there were no words to adequately explain it. But if you have loved an animal in this way and have been loved so fully in return, nothing more needs to be said. Some people will understand that since Tugs has been gone, my fear of death has lessened. If death means finally joining Tugs, and let it happen when it will. In the meantime, I continued my work rescuing abandoned animals and finding them homes where they can taste love and give such happiness in return. And oftentimes, when I look in the sky and I see the soft, billowy clouds floating there, I find myself sending a little message. I love you, Tugs. Susan Race. This was such a beautiful story. Oh my God. It was so sweet. Oh God. You know, this is exactly how I feel. You know that, how can you explain the love you have with a dog? It is so selfless. It is so selfless. You just give them some food and they give so much in return. It's really the best love ever. This dog never ever goes far from me. This one, okay. But this one, she's always waiting. And I don't know how anyone can give away a dog. Don't know. How can you give away a dog? I don't know. Or a child, I don't know either. Sometimes people have difficult circumstances, I guess. But it must be so heartbreaking. It's really difficult when you have to part with a dog. But let's celebrate love today. And let's add another quote. Oh, that's so sweet. And another quote. I have to find another quote. Hope is the thing with the feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Emily Dickinson, you're amazing. And there's another friend and a friend. We're all surrounded by friends here.